everybody, this is Erica, the technology nerd, likes to film stuff, and I've got 4 different Samsung devices right here. Here we have my old devices. This is the Galaxy S6 and the Galaxy S6 Edge. And now we have the S7 and the S7 Edge. And the first thing that I noticed about these devices, well, of course, that this one has a 5.5-inch display compared to the 5.2-inch that was on the S6 Edge. These feel a lot nicer to hold in the hand. My biggest complaint about the Edge device was that it just felt so sharp. It was hard for me to hold. So because this was very flat and it was very sharp for me, this was not a phone that I liked. This was not a phone I liked to carry around. It kind of hurt my hands. I did not like how it palmed in my hands. But that issue is no more. You can see that the back is nice and sloped and rounded. There is nothing on here that feels weird or sharp anymore. I really like what they've done here with the Edge version of the phone. And even the S7 is just even more comfortable to hold now. So that is a really nice and appreciated improvement. So here we have the S7 Edge and the S6 Edge, so you can appreciate the size differences. See that it is bigger, but it's really not too much bigger. It doesn't become cumbersome in any way. It's actually a really, really nice choice. These kind of just remind me now of the Galaxy Note 5, really. So right now I have the official specs sheet that's been brought up in front of me. So we have Android 6, we have Marshmallow, and they're saying for the SoCs it's quad-core. Well, we have 4 gigabytes of LPDDR4 RAM, 32 gigabytes of internal storage, and thankfully we now have the micro SD card slot, so that's very, very nice. So the 5.1-inch display and 5.5 both have a 12 megapixel camera on the back with optical image stabilization and f1.7 aperture lens. Front is f1.7 as well. 3,000 and 3,600 milliamp hour batteries. Both have fast charging, NFC, and so on and so forth. But definitely IP68 rating is very, very nice for water resistancy. Also, I'm excited about the back. I was not so keen on just how much this camera protruded on the S6. And if any of you have kept up with me on social media, you saw how not only did I accidentally break the Note 5 glass on the camera, but also on my S6 as well. So hopefully, with this being not as protruding, we won't see this breaking as much. That's going to be hard to say. It's going to matter on what type of glass this is. So taking a look around these phones, we've got a 5 megapixel camera on the front, proximity sensor, ambient light sensor. We've also got our receiver. On the bottom, we have our fingerprint sensor, which is now increased in size. As per some leaks, that is definitely a true thing. Still got your capacitive buttons there at the bottom. On the right-hand side, you have your power button, same placement. On the left-hand side, you've got your volume buttons. On the bottom, you have a standard headphone jack. You've also got a micro USB port. To the dismay of many, this is not USB-C. We have a microphone and a speaker. Then on the back is the 12 megapixel camera, single LED flash, and we have that sensor for the heart rate monitor. So all is very, very similar. But really what feels most different is how this feels in the hand. So now we are seeing more functionality to the Edge screen in terms of what can be added here. Here we have Apps Edge. Here we have our Task Edge. So create shortcuts to access specific app functions or to communicate with favorite contacts quickly and easily. We have our People Edge. We have now Yahoo News, Yahoo Sports. We can add some quick tools. We have weather and Twitter trends, CNN. So you can see for these panels here, we're given more options as what we can put on here, which is a really nice touch. Another new thing that we are seeing here is this always on part of the display. And I wonder if there's going to be any issues with burn-in over time. It looks like the time that we have here moves around the display. I'm sure that's an effort to make sure that it does not burn in. Wonder how long it takes for it to decide to move around. But that at least is promising. Here is the always on display. Select an image or information to show instead of fully turning off the display. So you can choose clock, calendar, or image. Just pick image. They've given you a couple different things that you can put here. Now you can see this image is going to be always on this display. Here we have the calendar that is able to be always on. These are nice touches. What happens if I double tap? Does it turn it on? No, it does not. Another notable thing that has been approved, of course, is the camera. Let's go ahead and look at that. You should still be able to access it. Double tap. Yes, indeed, and it's very, very fast. So this is our common interface. We have some controls on the side, effect, HDR. We have our timer, flash. We can select between our picture sizes and aspect. Here is the camera settings. So we've got UHD, 4K, Quad HD, Full HD 60 frames per second, Full HD 1:1 HD, VGA. We've got motion photo, record a short video clip of what happens before each picture is taken. I wonder if that's an Apple-y type thing. I'll have to check that out. Tracking autofocus, video stabilization. So let's test out this. Take a picture. So for this motion photo, all you need to do is touch right here. And it starts showing a few moments before what happens. Then of course we have our modes. So we have auto, pro, selective focus, panorama, video collage, high broadcast, slow motion, virtual shot, food, and hyperlapse. Let's go ahead and touch pro. This is what everyone wants to see anyhow. So on the side you have choice for multi or centered autofocus. Here's your metering modes, center weighted matrix and spot. Then you have options for some presets, for manual focus, for white balance, for ISO, for shutter speed and exposure compensation. And this looks like you can keep the shutter open for up to 10 seconds. I'm really curious and excited to see how this is going to perform. We've been hearing a lot of really great things about the camera and of course some comparisons against what Apple is able to offer. And this is supposed to do very, very well in low light due to those larger pixels and also the 1.7 aperture lens. So we shall see. The Galaxy S6 was okay in low lighting, but it did better when it had the manual mode that was added with shutter speed, and putting it on a tripod it acted quite well, but we definitely need something where you can just point and shoot in the dark and take good pictures. So hopefully this is as promised. Something else that I thought was pretty cool was this game launcher. We have game tools. So we can turn game tools on. You can see here, you can say to have no alerts during games. You can lock recent and back keys so you don't accidentally exit out of your game. You can minimize the game. So you can see, look how cool that is. Now we have our little Candy Crush jelly, very small. And you can touch it, get right back into it. You can take a screenshot right within the game. You can record the screen. So tap the profile button to stop recording, drag and drop to move button. We've got some settings. And here we have some things you can choose under the record option. You can have microphone, so this is using the external mic, or you can record audio from the game. So So here you have the resolution that you can decide. So 1080p if I want. And then you can choose the bitrate as well. So auto based on resolution or up to 6 megabits per second. So that's a really nice little thing that they have there. Now as for the interface, this is just standard TouchWiz. I like that the main theme is very, very plain. We don't have any weird or strange colors. So we have our standard fare here. We have access to our settings from here. You can see this is just very much TouchWiz type interface. Love it or hate it. Got a bit different animation here to our recents. It's kind of a flick, more abrupt. This feels very, very nice and snappy. So we still got our suite of standard features. So if you swipe from the corner, you can make your display smaller. Of course, you can move it around. This is our pop-up feature. Make it bigger. Or simply drag it to the top and it makes it full screen again. Still got our multitasking features as well. So you have your split screen and Chrome at the same time if you wish. So all that has not changed either. We still have features for one-handed operation, so click 3 times. You can see that it makes it smaller, return to full screen. And here now, we have some options to turn off and on these features, such as the pop-up view feature. So it looks like Samsung has added back some menu settings. That's not a bad thing. I wasn't so happy when they took away some of those menu features before because it was kind of easy for me to activate the pop-up feature. So now you can disable that. If that is annoying to you, goodbye. Voila. Underneath display, we still have the adaptive display mode, AMOLED Cinema, AMOLED Photo, basic mode. You can see that this goes between 2 different white points, a warmer and a cooler one. So all that is still very much the same. So just like before, we do have a little bit of discoloration. We have a little bit of color coming out here. So that issue is still there. It's a bent display. What can you expect? Most people are really not going to care about that, and I saw some being worse than others. I think they really made a good choice with making the edge size of the display being 5.5 inches instead of 5.1. I feel like there's more screen real estate now without there being some distortion along the edges, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable. I really didn't care for the S6 Edge Plus because it was so much bigger. But this is a good compromise between size and screen size. And it's really not that much bigger than the S7 that we have here. So I would actually go for this one this time. Nifty, nice little device. So stay tuned. I will try to get my hands on these as soon as I can for review. This has been Erica, the Technology Nerd, likes to film stuff. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you're most excited about with what you see with this phone. Maybe you're not excited about this phone. Maybe you're excited about the other phones, or maybe even the G5. Let me know, and have a good night.